So, man, earlier you kind of made a joke, or you said something, and it kind of made me think about something. You were saying that you came up to Dean Thomas, you go in there, and you're like immediately, "Hey, man, I want to fight." So, like, every gym, every coach, every instructor I've ever spoken to gets those people that come to the gym. Hey, man, I'm ready to fight. Put me in there, whatever, that kind of stuff. Like, and obviously it's ATT, so maybe it's a little bit different. But like, do you guys just get people walking in there? They're like, man, I'm ready to go. Put me in there, whatever. Or do they have to go through some sort of vetting process where you're like, look, man, before we even see you, man, you've got to do this, this, and this. Like, how does that work? So some guy that comes in there, whether he's going to stick around for years to come, or if he's going to quit after like 3 months, if he comes in there and says, man, I want to fight. Like, what do you guys make them do?
Yeah. Well, for me, like when I went up to Dean, I was like, I want to fight, and I told him I want to train though. Like I want to train, I want to get good at this thing. So he kind of was like, oh, okay.
Well, that's a different response. Sometimes you just get guys that say, I want to fight, man.
Sign
but they
the
say
waiver,
nothing about
baby.
the training.
Sign the waiver.
Yeah. No, we don't really get that a whole lot at ATT because again, like with the main headquarters, like you're not even allowed to step foot on the mats unless you're in like a higher promotion or you are a very high level prospect.
Okay.
You'll have some homegrown amateurs that are there that have been there since they were kids that come up into the ranks, and there's a few there that are there that still are making their way up. But you have to remember, at American Top Team we have over 150 fighters, and all of these guys and girls are elite, and they're all fighting in major promotions. So we do get guys, though, that think they have some clout and they think that they're good and they come from different areas of the world and they come in and they get kind of, dealt a bad hand. And, guys like, like back when Hector Lombard was there, like he put you in your place,
Yeah.
It was a crazy thing to watch those guys go at it. And they wouldn't last long, and you would see just that they weren't cut out for weren't cut out for the sport, or they just weren't cut out for that level of competition inside the training. Whereas like where we have, again, it's iron sharpens iron. I know it's cliche to say, but it's true, but I know in Dean School, we had a lot of guys that would come in and they would be like, yeah, I'm ready to make it to the UFC and with the chest pumped up, and they would be like the bodybuilder type guys, that come in and we just put them through just a basic gauntlet of, whether it be, getting them in the sparring and watching them just do rounds on rounds. And it would be against our young kids, and they would just see how they responded to that type of pressure, and to actually watching themselves get degraded because they were getting their ass whooped by 16-year-old kids, and these guys were like 27, 28-year-old grown men that work out at LA Fitness, and they thought they were beefed up and ready to go, but truly they weren't ready for what was about to occur to them or about to happen to them, and it occurred to them that this wasn't the sport for them.
Yeah, man, I used to do the same thing. I had a kid. He's a black belt now, obviously, and he's an adult. But when he was a kid, man, he was a freak. He was like purple belt, and he was submitting black belts and stuff. But he was a beanpole. He's like 6 foot tall, 120 pounds, 130. And whenever we would get these big guys like you're talking about, we would get them in there, and they would want to like puff up. We had a guy came in. He was a military guy, just got out of the military. He was big, man, probably about 250. Comes in there. He said, "Man, I'm ready to fight tomorrow, whatever." I said, "Oh, okay, man, just come here real quick. Roll with that kid over there. If you don't get submitted, we'll talk, right?" And I give Chad, I would wink at him when I wanted him to like put the business on him. I just kind of wink at him, and he put that guy in a triangle. And this guy said he knew how to roll and stuff, like he knew to tap. So he gets in there and he all of a sudden starts snoring. I had to wake him up. I was like, "Hey man," like he's like, "What happened?" I was like, "You got put to sleep by a 14-year-old kid, man." Like, and again, like you're saying, you're not even looking at him to do well. You're just like, can you submit to the process? Can you just like lay whoever you are outside? Can you just leave that person out there and come in here and start fresh and then begin anew? And that's the biggest thing.